Hey guys, I want to make a quick video to introduce worksheet A22. A couple of points I want to make. The first side is way easier than the second side. As a matter of fact, you don't even need to do trig on the first side. You don't need to know any angles. The second thing, but the second side you do. The second thing is this is called an Lord in heaven. This is called an apothem right there. So let's try that again. An apothem goes from the center to a side and makes a right angle. So this is a radius when it goes. So this is a radius and this is an apothem. Just so you realize that when we get down further in the worksheet, it's going to actually ask you to draw some shapes, and it'll tell you the side length or the apothem or whatever. So again, the apothem sort of ends up being the height, for lack of a better term. Just real quickly, just to go through a couple of these examples, just so you guys can see how easy the first side is and then what your expectation is on the second side. When I look at these, you kind of got to turn your head. I don't know, how you want to look at this. But I know that this side is 12, and these are regular, so this is 12 as well. So when I make this triangle here, I'm going to sort of make this the top. I'm going to make this the top over here. So I know that this is 12, which tells me that this right here must be 6, right? My base, half of my base is 6, my whole base is 12, so half of my base is 6, and then my apothem ends up being my height of 14.5. So pretty simply, I'm just going to say half of my base is 6 times height. 6 times 14.5 is going to give me 43.5. So the area here is 43.5. And then I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these things. So I'll multiply that by 8, and I will get an area of 348. So again, unit squared actually. So again, on the first side, you don't even need to use trig. The angles are irrelevant. They give you the base, they give you the height. You just got to divide by 2 and multiply by how many sides. But don't let that kind of fool you. So, excuse me, when we get down to here, we actually need to draw the shape. So, I have a pentagon. Looks awesome. Anyway, the apothem is 7.3, right? And then my side is 10.6. Well, if my whole side is 7.6, then this is 5.3. Again, I have half the base times height. Then again, guys, I keep saying half the base. Don't forget, it's either base times height divided by 2, or it's half the base times height. So I'm using this half the base times height one a lot. Half the base times height. So 5.3 times 7.3. I'm getting 38.7. So the area here is 38.7, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these bad boys. So I'm going to multiply that by 5. And I'm going to get 193.4 units squared. So again, on these ones you need to draw, and you do need to know what the apothem is. Moving down a bit more, this is where trig is actually going to come into play a little bit right here. 17, 18 are going to be some more difficult questions for sure. I don't know. This one is probably going to be a little bit tricky. I'm a little bit hesitant to take this one. I would rather do one that maybe, whatever. Well, I'll do this one and leave that. So a hexagon I know is 6 sides. I'll take this one because it has the radical or the square root. I know that the side is 16 times the square root of 3 over 3. Right? I know it's a hexagon. So I know that this is 60. 360 divided by 6 is 60. So 60 is here, 60 is here, 60 is here. I have an equilateral triangle, right? So essentially, the question is, how am I going to sort of figure this out? And there's a couple different ways I can go about this. I can use square roots and all that stuff. But I'm thinking it might be easier to explain this to you guys using decimals. although it breaks my heart to do that. But anyway, so 16 times the square root of 3 is going to equal 27.7. I'm going to divide that by 3. So I'm going to get 9.23. So essentially, a side is, I guess I don't need to do that. I can just say it equals about 9.24 actually when I round. So I can redo this thing here and say that this is 9.24. And again, there's other ways that we can do this where we'll get a precise answer because we can use the square root, but I just don't know that it's necessarily worth it. This is going to be 30. So when I make this sort of smaller triangle out here, I'm going to get a 30, 60, 90. I know that this is going to be half of 9.24. So 9.24 divided by 2 is going to be 4.62. And I still need my height, right? So the question is, if I use 30, it's going to be on bottom. I'll use the 60, so it's opposite over adjacent again. So yeah. That's my last video of the night, and I think I need it to be the last video of the night because I'm screwing up SOHCAHTOA at this point. Anyway, so we have SOHCAHTOA. Obviously, it's going to end up being tangent. So I'll use the tangent of 60 is equal to O over 4.62. Again, guys, what I could have done is I could have used 30. I could have said the tangent of 30 degrees was 4.62 over O. And it would have been fine. I would have got the same answer. It just would have been a little bit more work, and I'm notoriously lazy. So I'm going to cross multiply here. I get O equals, so the tangent of 60. Again, I am still in degree mode. I'm going to double check that at least, and I am. So the tangent of 60 is 1.73. So what am I doing here? Oh, yeah, I don't think I wanted to do that quite yet. I'm going to say 1.73 is my tangent of 60. That's going to equal O over 4.62. I'll cross multiply. O is going to equal, again, we have all that rounding stuff. O is going to equal 8. So now here's a nice little trick. If I make this half my base, well, yeah, I guess it's fine. Anyway, so I don't need to do that. So half my base is 4.62, right? Half my base is 4.62. My height is 8. So 4.62 times 8 gets me, so 4.62 times 8 gets me 36.96. So that's my area of this one. And then obviously I have 6 of those. So the area of the whole shape is going to end up being 221.8 units squared. And again, obviously, I mean, you need to do the same thing up here with these. This one's kind of an interesting one, honestly. The triangles are already triangles, so you probably don't actually need to do as much as you might think on those, but it's a little bit different if you have a radius versus if you have a side, so I'll let you figure that out. Anyways, again, kind of tricky. I believe that is it. Have a good night or day.